Yeah, good morning, Amy. In the course of the investigation, deputies learned those kids were just between the ages of 12 and 14 years old, and they tried robbing a man with a gun. Deputies say at least 3 of those kids were shot. One of them is still in critical condition at last check. When Harris County Sheriff deputies showed up here, they found one of the kids with several gunshot wounds. He was taken to a nearby trauma center in critical condition, as I just mentioned. And as paramedics were tending to him, 2 other kids were found with gunshot wounds. Both were taken to the hospital and are stable. Shortly after that, the suspected shooter, who deputies believe the teens were trying to rob, returned to the scene and turned himself in.
I heard some gunshots sound like they were basically at my front door. And of course, as you can see from behind me, they were down the way a little bit. To be frank and honest with you, I grabbed my gun, which is in a holster, and walked outside to see what was going on.
It is believed the incident occurred due to an attempted aggravated robbery that involved the juveniles attempting to rob the adult male. During the incident, the juveniles approached the male and they were displaying pistols. The adult male retrieved his own pistol and shot the juveniles.
Now, this is truly an unfortunate and sad situation. Talk about how young these are babies, 13, 14. But at the same time, you got to give kudos to that guy for protecting himself. I mean, this is what being an American is about. You have somebody threatening your safety or the safety of your home and your family that's within it, then hey, you gonna F around and find out, okay? You know what I mean? You coming in to rob and potentially harm somebody has no age limit in terms of the response. The response has no age limit on that. Now, obviously, you know, like I said, it says something to just the youth, man. Wow. Never bring a knife or a BB gun to a gunfight. Okay, that's all I can say. I'm not upset at this man at all whatsoever for doing what he had to do to protect himself and his family and his home, man. I mean, come on. What else what else could you expect from that situation? Somebody even wrote FAFO outcome. They are allowed to act this way at school and then experience reality. Yeah, I mean, you know, we can say that these teenagers these days, I mean, I guess in every generation, a generation that's coming after, we end up having these type of conversations talking about the generation these days, this, that, and the third. But I don't know, man, it was just stupid because they tried to do this in Texas, and Texas also allows concealed carry and victims have the right to defend themselves. The teen should have tried this in New York instead, somebody wrote. If this happened in New York, the intended victim would have been charged with attempted murder by DAs like Alvin Bragg. And more comments are going, son, you got to walk away, I'm working, please. We got more comments that say, agree that if they were willing to rob someone, then they were willing to commit violence. Society has the right to protect itself from such things. That's true. Now let's just go over the details again. Colin Noor, I'll be messing up his name. I know he's a gun specialist on YouTube. He provided some insight to this as well. But just going over the details, 3 boys ages 12, 13, and 14. Man, wow, I didn't even have the goal to attempt something like this, man. What? My mama, what? Nah, man. I was somebody that was in the house before the street lights, okay? That's just what it was. But yeah, attempted an armed robbery on Christmas night, targeting a 25-year-old man and his girlfriend outside their apartment complex. At first, the couple thought it was a prank because of how young the kids looked, but things turned deadly to serious when the boys pulled out the gun. The intended victim, however, wasn't defenseless. He drew his own firearm and opened fire, hitting all 3 of the boys. A 12-year-old is hospitalized for critical condition. 2 others, 12 and 13, returned to the scene with non-fatal injuries seeking help. A 14-year-old accomplice was taken into custody unharmed. A 25-year-old victim stayed on the scene. Oh man, reading the details of this, I almost felt like I was reading a whole different story. But anyhow, what else? He also has the video right here. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I like and retweet this for you guys to come check it out. But in his video, he explained how the situation highlight the importance of self-defense, which is extremely important. That's why we couldn't get the likes of Kamala Harris up in that office, and she tried to, right at the end, tried to switch her whole policy plan. Oh, you know, I'll carry. I carry. We're not trying to take away anybody's gun. Somebody said this is a horrible and tragic event for all involved. I feel for both the victims. And I mean, who has to deal with all the crap that comes with defending himself, and these kids who have made horrible choices with adult-sized FAFO consequences. Definitely sad. So which 2A advocate group is going to sue and why, so I can get some carry insurance? What? Y'all see these comments is crazy. Shook first, ask questions later after they're down. Okay, admit I hate this. What sort of culture robs boys of a decent upbringing? And inculates armed robbery as a great lifestyle, horrible beyond words. Yeah, man, I gotta say, it's the current culture. I don't want to just put it all to culture, you know what I mean? But it's the current culture. These young people just not having care about anything that's common sense. They just want to, you know, they got a problem with somebody, you know, common sense taken out of it. Now they're the op, so to speak, and they want to take them out. But yeah, let's go and hear more about this real quick.
A total of 4 boys ages 12 to 14 years old attempted to try to rob a man in this apartment complex you see behind me. Now, that's when authorities say that man started shooting in order to defend himself. If you take a look, this is video of when deputies first responded to this incident just after 10:30 p.m. last night. When deputies got there, they say they found one boy with a gunshot wound. He was rushed to a trauma center in critical condition and at last checked was in surgery. Now, the investigators say 2 more boys were found with gunshot wounds and they were also taken to the hospital. A few minutes later, they say the shooter turned himself in and a 4th teenager was taken in. Now, investigators tell us the shooter says he only shot the boys because they tried to attempt to rob him in his home with guns. Now, neighbors heard the commotion and came outside to see what was going on.
My neighbor right here screamed across the way, "Hey, are you okay?" And I told him, "Hey, this guy's down." So I called the sheriff department and the ambulance to come and pick the kid up. But of course, at that time, I didn't know it was a little kid. And my other neighbor came and held his hand and was talking to him and consoling him, you know, trying to keep him alive.
So the question that this situation is stirring in America is this justified? Was this man justified to do what he did? I think I did. I've explained my position on that pretty explicitly in terms of him being justified and defending himself. Yeah, man. But I definitely want y'all to comment below. I'll read a few comments from that question. And justified, but since this is Harris County, Texas, that would likely prosecute him. Somebody else said justified. What a lazy reporter. She cannot even hold a microphone up with it. Somebody said, who even cares? Now, that other guy, the initial dude who's, I don't know what his position is, the lieutenant, maybe, I don't know. He was reporting on this. They only had him in an initial video very briefly. Let's go ahead and watch the extended of that. It's only about a minute, so let's check it out.
Our patrol deputies responded to a disturbance at the 12,700 block of North Houston, Roslyn. Upon their arrival, they encountered multiple juveniles and that were shot. The juveniles ranged from ages 12 to 14. They were all transported to nearby hospitals. Currently, there's 1 in critical condition and 2 in stable condition. Our crime scene investigators and our violent crimes unit investigators responded to the scene and are currently conducting early stages of their investigation. We do have a 4th juvenile detained and also an adult male detained. It is believed the incident occurred due to an attempted aggravated robbery that involved the juveniles attempting to rob the adult male. During the incident, the juveniles approached the male and they were displaying pistols. The adult male retrieved his own pistol and shot the juveniles. We asked the community for your patience because we are going to be out here for a couple of more hours or so, processing the scene, canvassing the area, interviewing our witnesses, interviewing all possible victims, and also the suspects. We do have also investigators at the hospital, and we will provide further results and updates on the condition of the juveniles that were shot.
Now, there's so many different angles that we can come at this from. Some can talk about the parents, upbringing. We could talk about culture. We can bring it on a couple different things. But I think that, what's important is these young kids just learn about consequences, real life consequences, and they got a second chance on life. I know that they're going to have consequences as a result, legal consequences as a result of this attempt. But moving forward, I hope after justice is served and then everything that, they are deserving of happens, hopefully, they come out with a better mindset than this right here. I really would like to know whom these teenagers are. People are really want to know the race of these teenagers. Of course, they would just see black, whatever they want that. But yeah, man, it's just unfortunate. These kids will be sharing stories with each other about getting shot when they get older, man. It's just crazy. But this man, he self-defense, if you ask me.